You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Evers administration gives Green Bay, Ashwaubenon, and Brown County $1.8 million to cover security and other public safety costs from the 2025 NFL Draft in April. Governor Tony Evers announced the Opportunity Attraction and Promotion Fund grant Wednesday. The fund's driving force was the recognition that large-scale events like the NFL Draft can serve as an economic boon, not only for the community hosting the event, but for the state as a whole. About 600,000 attendees flocked to the three-day event in Green Bay. Initial estimates have the draft generating about $94 million in economic activity across Wisconsin and a $20 million benefit for the Green Bay area specifically. Following an incident recorded at Bay Beach last week, Green Bay Police Chief Chris Davis says yes, the Cops TV show is back in Green Bay to follow police officers for possible content. No, the city nor the police department do not get paid for allowing cops to film. This is not the first time Cops has been in Green Bay. They were here in 2016 and a bit last fall. Davis said the department has the final say on whether any content will air or not. Door County's inaugural Juneteenth gathering will be from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Saturday, June 21st at Sturgeon Bay's Martin Park. The free event welcomes all residents and visitors to celebrate Juneteenth's history, culture, and significance. Many in the African American community consider Juneteenth an Independence Day, as it marks the day slaves in Texas learned of the Emancipation Proclamation, 2.5 years after the fact. Texas made Juneteenth an official state holiday back in 1980, and in 2021, the Biden administration declared Juneteenth a federal holiday. The Joint Finance Committee finalized another piece of the Republicans' state budget, this time the operating budget for the Department of Corrections. There were some increases, but just a fraction of what was included in the governor's proposal. The Republican plan includes about $136 million in increases for the Department of Corrections statewide over the next 2 years. That includes paying for 18 new employees across the department. Governor Tony Evers' plan would have invested $500 million. Large chunks of that money would have gone toward closing long-troubled facilities in the state, including Green Bay Correctional Institution. Democrats called the Republican plan kicking the can down the road. Joint Finance Committee co-chair Mark Bourne.
This, very much carries on the current mission of an important and very expensive department. It's nothing to be sad or upset about.
Republicans say they'll get to the capital budget, which would, in theory, include projects like closing GBCI in this afternoon's session. In March, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction awarded the Manitowoc Public School District a $75,000 grant to launch a recovery high school. Superintendent Lee Tennis said only about 15% of the students in recovery in his district are proficient in reading. Only 10% are proficient in math. But now, thanks to the grant, the Manitowoc schools, with almost a dozen area organizations, plan to create a high school dedicated to helping students in recovery thrive academically and meet the unique challenges and needs of the students overcoming substance use and the mental health challenges that come with it. Manitowoc was one of only 4 school districts to receive the grant. The humidity is about to spike, with highs in the 90s forecasted statewide over the weekend. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot says to expect triple digits.
Heat indices will feel like nearly 100 degrees. Now is the time to start to hydrate. Make sure you stay cool, because heat-related illnesses can sneak up on you fast. If you start to get dizzy, slurred speech, stop sweating, seeing stars, the next thing is you could throw up, black out, or wind up in the ER.
Republicans are rumored to be considering a huge cut to the UW system. That was first reported by Civic Media's Todd Alba. Funding the UW system was originally on the Joint Finance Committee's agenda on Tuesday, but it was removed shortly before the session began. Savannah Tomei Olson has the details.
They're reportedly considering an $87 million cut to the system's budget when the Trump administration is also threatening UW's federal funding. Democratic Representative Jody Emerson from Eau Claire.
They are doing research into Lake Altoona in my district as to why there's so much sediment coming through and why there's so much runoff. There's not a university in Altoona, but Altoona gets the benefits of that because it is the Wisconsin idea. Our universities, our higher ed goes everywhere. It impacts everybody in this state.
As of the time of this recording, it's not clear yet when they'll put the UW system back on the agenda. For Civic Media News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
It's play ball today at Wrigley. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers and Chicago Cubs playing today after being rained out last night. The game has now been rescheduled to create a doubleheader between the two teams August 18th. NFL, former Packers place kicker Anders Carlson has been released by the New York Jets. Carlson, drafted in the 6th round in 2023 by the Packers, has spent time with the 49ers and now the Jets. Former Packers defensive back and special teams guy Robert Rochelle has signed with the Dallas Cowboys. NBA, the Pacers host the Thunder tonight in Indianapolis. Tyrese Halliburton doing everything he can to get back on the court despite a strained right calf muscle.
I think just around the clock stuff as much as I can. Massage, needles, hyperbaric, H-wave. Just a bunch of different things to try to get it to feel as comfortable as you can going into it. The right tape and stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of medical professionals who better answer, but just doing everything that I'm told, trying to do everything I can.
That's the Pacers' Tyrese Halliburton with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The Bruce Springsteen biopic Deliver Me From Nowhere inches ever closer to being released. Jeremy Allen White plays the boss and has gotten high praise after sneak peeks. The cast also includes Jeremy Strong, who plays John Landau, Springsteen's longtime manager, and Stephen Graham as Bruce's father, Doug. According to Variety, the trailer is now available to view on YouTube. Deliver Me From Nowhere tells the story of the time in the boss's career when he took a break from touring and made the Nebraska album. The film hits theaters October 24th. Ted Danson says when he gave advice or predicted things while he was on Cheers, he was often completely wrong. One of his big miscues was predicting that Shelley Long was not at all right for the role of Diane Chambers. Danson told the story to Andy Richter during an episode of the Where Everybody Knows Your Name podcast that he does with Woody Harrelson. Not only was she right for the role, Long went on to garner 5 Emmy nominations, and Danson, although they had differences at times, said no one could have done it better. Sometimes superheroes need to be stuck up for when they are being bullied, at least when it comes to movies. The marvelous Miss Maisel, also known as Rachel Brosnahan, stuck up for superhero movies. She chatted with Amanda Seyfried for an article in Interview magazine. Both actors agreed if an actor is going to do a superhero role, they need to own it, as opposed to what Dakota Johnson said after starring in Madam Web and basically trashing the film after it flopped at the box office. Brosnahan is set to play Lois Lane in the upcoming Superman film. As usual, there will be a battle for the top spot at the box office this coming weekend. Distribution prognosticators are predicting How to Train Your Dragon will keep the top spot after a monster opening weekend. Duking it out for the number 2 spot at the box office, according to Variety, will be 28 Years Later, the 3rd installment of the 28 Days franchise, and 1st installment of a new trilogy, and Pixar's Elio, a little bit of horror and some family-friendly fare. Comedian Tom Segura has seen success on Netflix with his show Bad Thoughts, which gives us a look into the stand-up comic's brain through vignettes, revealing his dark comedy and comedic sensibilities. Segura was thrilled at the news that his show is getting a 2nd season. According to Deadline, his response when he heard the news was, "It was such a thrill to get the opportunity to entertain and horrify audiences with our very bad thoughts on Netflix." There's a new series on the way from Marvel Cinematic Universe. Dominique Thorne revises her role Ironheart from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Thorne and her co-star Alex Ramos were on the Today Show discussing the new venture, and they appear to have the full backing of MCU hero Iron Man Robert Downey Jr., who appeared by video call from the set of Avengers Doomsday, where he is playing Dr. Doom. The first 3 episodes of Ironheart will be available to stream on Disney Plus June 24th. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Bormans. A mix of clouds and sun and warm today, with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms developing by late in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 80s. That chance of showers and thunderstorms continues tonight. Low temps in the middle 60s. Right now, it's 64 degrees.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM. The national news cycle never stops. but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.